Hello and welcome back to the 5-Star Potential Podcast Social. We're on to day 7 now. It is a full week of daily podcasts and I'm delighted to be alongside some of my favourite people in the Football Manager community again to talk about life, lockdown and whatever else comes into conversation. As always, again, I am joined alongside Mr. Dupe. How's it going, man?
Yeah, good, mate. One of your favourite members of the community.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
You like that one?
That's going on the fucking Twitter bio.
How was your day today?
Today's been stressful, David. I've learned that I've got 2 very important audits coming up, so my work head is going to be tighter screwed on than ever. And unfortunately, the beta come out today, so I think something's going to give, and I wonder which one it's going to be. I'm live every single night, just saying.
I am delighted, there we go, to welcome Curty as well, a true OG of the 5-Star Pod, so it's good to have him finally on a social podcast as well. How's it going, man?
Yeah, good. I too was surprised by being called one of your favourite people in the FM community, so that is going on my soundboard.
Everyone get involved. And
I'm assuming you told him about the quiz, yeah? He's done the quiz today.
Yeah. He's not impressed with that one.
I've been watching. There's been no quizzes.
Too soon.
That's why you're my favourite, Curty.
And to round us off again, it's our favourite blogger, the head of WeStreamFM blogging. It is MaddFM. Mad, how's it going, man?
Good evening. How are we doing, guys? Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Cheers.
All good, man. All good. Obviously, I'm sure everyone, or I know Curt's been watching Mad, you've seen a few of them as well. You sort of get the gist of what we do. Just have a good old chat, really. I think, obviously, today, again, is another different one. Every single day, we've had people in different countries, different situations, different jobs. And we've got another one today, with you being based in Ireland. Lockdown.
We're talking about Curty and Aldershot.
Lockdown in Ireland, Mad. What's that been like? What are the rules like? Are they following England's rules, or are they on their sort of own path at the moment?
Yeah, probably a bit less exotic than Mike Sweet Left Foot over in Spain in terms of what you can do during lockdown. But I think by and large, Ireland has been in lockdown before England every time. Probably, again, cases are worse, much smaller country, I guess. So, we went into lockdown. Pretty much St. Patrick's Day, every Irish person's dream. I remember because I actually started a blog that day and I was like, oh, it's St. Patrick's Day. And pretty much it was lockdown solid for 3-4 months, similar to everyone else, I guess. And then, thankfully it was summer, even though, Ireland and summer don't go in the same sentence normally. So thank God for FM to keep us going through. But I was just working from home through the whole thing. I work for an online retail company, fairly big online retail company in the UK. And obviously when lockdown hit, it just went insane. We were busier than we've ever been. And which is, I can't complain. It was great to be secure in the job and everything, but it was hectic. But yeah, so it's like the divide of work and FM is probably the challenge. This is the chair I'm in now is where I work. So I've been in this chair since about 7 o'clock this morning. But like everyone, just getting on with it, trying to keep sane, keep healthy. As you said, there's a lot of people in much worse situations. So just trying to keep a positive outlook,
Of course, man. That's what it's all about. So what have they been like? Have the situations changed over there? Or is it sort of been the same, like you say, since St. Patrick's Day? Have they sort of tightened it, loosened it?
We went full on lockdown in March that time, and it was full on level 5. Basically, started off at 2 km from the house.
Wow.
So obviously, if you were an essential worker, if you absolutely didn't have a supermarket nearby. But the recommendation was 2 kilometers, and then it kind of, after about a month, maybe 5-6 weeks, it stretched to 5k, and then it kind of became 20k. And towards the end of the summer, it was getting back to normal and back playing football, which was great. So we I'm playing a Galway league. I think we got 3 games played, and then all went hits up again because just the cases got worse, So. I think it's the same as every country, right? Everyone brought the curve down and then just back up again, unfortunately. But as you said, the second time around, like yourselves, just kind of used it a bit more this time. So it's not as big a shock to the system, I guess.
How's it been because I don't know, over here, I kind of feel like there's a second lockdown, but it's not really, no one's massively paying a whole lot of attention to it. people are kind of out and about. Okay, I know people are off work and obviously struggling, in that sense, but lots of people are out and about, sort of our local park at the weekend, and I know you're allowed to go out for a bit of exercise or whatever, but our local park was heaving when I went to walk the dog. So yeah, what's the situation over there?
It's kind of similar. Like in the early days, it wasn't like that. People were taking it pretty seriously. I think they were taking it a lot more seriously here than from what I could see in the UK. Like for example, you could even see the difference between Ireland and Northern Ireland, even in the last month or two, where in terms of like the Irish counties in the Republic of Ireland that are close to the border were the first ones to start ramping up in cases, because it just seemed to be a bit of a different mentality, and probably just because of the timing that Ireland went into lockdown and second lockdowns first, I guess. But like that, probably like by the time the summer came, any bit of nice weather in Ireland, people are outside. Like, I mean, it might be 10 degrees, but if the sun is shining, people are out in shorts, because it just doesn't. If I'm in the west of Ireland, like, it rains here more than anywhere else in the entire of Europe, basically. So yeah, like that, you can go down to the park, and there was days I'd go down there, and there was kids everywhere, people playing football, people drinking cans. So it's kind of, schools are all still going. I think it's not as much the same, but everything's still closed. Restaurants, pubs, all that kind of. So if you walk through the main streets in town or whatever, it's quiet, but parks and stuff are still pretty busy. It kind of gets me as well, because like we were back playing football, and they have regulations. Fair enough. Like about you could only train in a pod of like 15. So when the team went back, we had something like 44 guys registering to play football because everybody's around. So like we're trying to organise a training session. So I was manager last year, and I was kind of giving the guy a hand this year, trying to organise a training session when you have 40 something guys that want to play, and you can only do 15 in a pod. And obviously then when it starts getting dark in the evening, you're like in an astro pitch that just can't cope with it. So, but then same 44 guys could go down to a park and start kicking the ball around, and probably no one's going to say anything. So yeah, that was kind of annoying. But it's a similar thing. Some people take it seriously, some people don't, and it pisses you off when people don't. But thankfully, I think by and large, it was so serious in Ireland that people get it, and it's not as bad.
You say like this is where you're sitting now is where you work. How have you found the kind of separating your sort of online Football Manager stuff with work stuff? Because just like from a personal point of view, I'm exactly the same. Where I sit is where I work, and I've found the lines being blurred, very difficult to kind of separate the two, if you like. So
oh, definitely, man. Like, because it was the kind of thing where I'd be going to the office, and the office, I mean, it's about a 15-minute drive. But that divide of going to work, coming back, and obviously, what I'd look forward to in the evening, I'd come home and have dinner and maybe go for a walk or run or play football or whatever. And then I look forward to sitting down in my chair and playing some FM and maybe typing up a blog. Now it's like, there's part of me like, I shouldn't be sitting in this fucking chair for so long, right? As I said, I started work this morning at 7:30, stopped for dinner and then came back. Obviously, certain events required me to be at the desk this evening to keep an eye on certain Twitter accounts. And yeah, part of me is like, this isn't good to be sitting at the desk so long. And even working, it's like, when you're in the office, you'd be like, lovely, 5 o'clock, bell rings, out the door. Whereas when you're working from home, it's very easy. Suddenly it's 6 o'clock, and then you suddenly realise you're doing, rather than doing 8 or 9 hours, you're doing 10 and 11, and it kind of doesn't blend, So it's hard because, like I said, all of our hobby is to sit down at the desk where you've got the screens and go playing a bit of FM and doing a bit of content. And it is probably not the healthiest thing in the world. While being a really good hobby mentally, physically it's probably not the best one, right? So trying to get a bit of balance and actually put it away, which was easier because FM20 was coming to an end, right? Now we're in trouble now. We've a lot more reasons.
Do you know what? Funny enough, you talk about it. I struggled. I literally did a week sitting here and working from home, and it got to kind of 7, 8 o'clock, and I'm just like, I can't see myself how I'm going to sit here and go live or do. I just want to get out of the room. Do you know what I mean? It just seems so much of a. I'm quite lucky. I'm assuming, Curtie, because yours is in your off. It's an office. It's not like it's the front room or the kitchen, for example. That must make it slightly easier so you can get away. But for me, it was just like, I just don't want to be up here. And that was a week. Some people have done months. It's just, It's difficult.
Yeah, it's it is one of the things I've really struggled with, because obviously when you're working from an office or commuting in, I commute into London, so you kind of, you know that that's what you're doing each day. You know, when you get home, maybe you've got plans to stream, maybe you've got plans to spend some time with the missus. It was a weird transition for me, because obviously my wife's also in the same boat. She's working from home. Her workspace is downstairs, and you think, quality. You just have lunch together or whatever. Nothing really changes, but actually it does, because like it's difficult. You spend your 8 hours or whatever up here, sometimes longer, because working from home tends to mean your work hours are extended, and then so I'm not really seeing my missus anyway during the day. So then, but because I've been upstairs and she's been downstairs, it's weird. You kind of want to see her. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just been a weird. It's been a really, really weird transition, and it is one of the things that I've definitely struggled with.
And Curty, has that, because you've probably been quiet, let's say on the Twitch front, for example, right? For the last, obviously it's coming to the end of the game and the saves and everything. I know you've been playing a lot offline. We don't need to bring up any of the hardships of your offline adventures in Holland. But
GG Deep, by the way, I didn't congratulate you on. It hurt too much, but
I'm sure
he doesn't want to bring that up.
We can talk about it tomorrow, but it's not. It's fine.
But has that coincided, because you're now, let's say, working from the desk, working in the room where you would stream? Do you reckon there's kind of that's one of the reasons why you've not been going live, because of that kind of
100%
that clash? Yeah,
100%. Because if I spend all day up here, kind of almost the last thing I want to do is then go and spend another 3-4 hours streaming straight.
Kind of cooped up. Yeah.
Sort of you get to 5 o'clock, you nip downstairs, have some dinner with the missus, and then straight back in the chair. And that's a big reason, I think, why I haven't streamed over the last few months, because I've found that adjustment so tough. So yeah, absolutely, you're right.
Fair. Yeah, as you can see, I'm pretty much, behind me you can see parts of the kitchen. As we know, Dupe was very intrigued to see what was in the jars and the slow cooker and everything. So
you got a slow cooker?
Apparently, yeah.
Why red? Why red? Why have you gone for a red one? It's not like
it's a bit showy, isn't it?
Is all of your other appliances red, or?
I'm not putting it on and wearing it down the street. It's a slow cooker, man.
No, just wondered, I would only.
I never expected my slow cooker to be on the WeStream FM social pod for the month of November.
You never know.
To be fair, I know you should put your slow cooker there and not your kettle. So,
yeah. What's that? What's the cupboard below? Just really quickly, what's the cupboard below?
It looks like a dishwasher.
That's actually the fridge.
It's the fridge.
Oh.
So why is the kettle not there next to the milk? Come on.
I'm going to tell you why. So this is my office, right? So I'm on calls all day for work.
Okay.
The missus is off work at the moment, so the missus kind of stumbles down at 10:30. And doesn't want to be on camera, so she's moved the kettle so she's not on camera.
Some stereotypes you like to live with, right?
It's terrible, isn't it?
Sorry, go on.
That's
so
that's why,
downstairs.
because she comes down to make herself a coffee and she doesn't want to be on the camera when I'm on a work call, because she knows I'll just go, oh yeah, I've been here since 7:30. 3 hours later, the missus stumbles down to make coffee. Yeah.
Okay.
So when you're on work calls, does she sort of pop up in the background every now and again?
Oh, she does. As you can, she wants to go to the fridge. It's the joke's on her because the milk is in the fridge. She hasn't figured that part out yet. So she does, but Google has this new blurred background thing. Have you seen that? No?
Yeah.
So if you're on Hangouts called Action, it just
got that on Skype as well, I think.
Yeah. So I can love that.
I feel for Skype. I really feel for Skype. Imagine being the market leader for so long, then a pandemic takes over. Nobody ever talks about Skype anymore. So about Zoom.
Rip.
I still do my podcasts. I do my Walls podcasts on Skype.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's another plug. Shock.
Talking Walls.
Talking Skype.
Skyping Walls. Let me tell you, as we're talking about working from home and it's very COVID related. So when I was working from home and my wife was downstairs, I was very lucky. I work in a very male orientated office.
You are very lucky.
Sorry?
You are very lucky.
What I mean by that is they're not the best to go on camera. They're not the most technically savvy. We're engineers by trade. We fix things. We don't sit on cams, apart from me. And so we don't have to go on camera. So I literally just had my shirt off. Like, I'm just in my shorts, just happy. Like, literally, I'm happy. Until I went downstairs to make a brew, walked past the wife's computer with everything hanging out. And she's on a Skype call with everyone watching, just looking at me. And I just, you go too far, don't you? You go too far.
I'm disappointed it hasn't gone viral. She's been good to you there, no?
Sorry, you walked past her computer with your knob out.
No. My previous statement, I raised the fact that I was wearing shorts. I talk about everything hanging out, when you get to a certain size of a man...
Sorry, I just think about your penis a lot.
Yeah, true. When you get to a certain size of a man, you kind of get some boobies, right? And that was what I was referencing.
Nice. I don't know what you mean.
So yes, I got a cracking pair, and I walked past and literally everyone's there, and you've gone too far. You're there. They've seen it. So I just kind of hello, how's everyone going? And she's like, put a fucking t-shirt on. I'm now reminded of the blurred background.
It hasn't happened yet, thankfully, in my house. It'll be a different story.
We referenced it when we were talking about the schools with Clates yesterday. Actually, I believe that about the young lad in America whose mum walked in just completely naked out of the shower.
Quality. Absolutely quality.
Curtis looking at me like, please, can you... Oh, hang on, I got a WhatsApp.
How old was this kid?
He was about 6 or 7.
Yeah, the kid was 6 or 7, but the mum was obviously not. I've just got a WhatsApp from Curtis. Have you got a link to that video? That's a bit weird.
I think he meant to send that to your missus to get the video of you do.
Yeah, true. Maybe.
I'm still intrigued with it. So you say under the slow cooker is your fridge, yeah?
do I need to go over it?
We're intrigued to why the handle's horizontal or not.
That's what
I don't know, man. It's this apartment we live in. It's kind of, I don't know, the design they've done. They've got all these obviously.
That's why I thought it was the dishwasher.
Yeah. When you pull it open,
Can you just pull it open live on stream?
Do I need to?
Yeah, go on.
Do I need to go?
Go on, this is groundbreaking.
This is the content you want to watch.
On the floor. Why have you got
empty
bottles
bottles
on the floor?
Nowhere else to put it.
They're empty. Oh, here. I should have got the blurred screen on, shouldn't I, for this call?
Why is it not wait, for fuck's sake?
Let's see how it opens. Is it all open?
Oh, okay. I quite like that.
I thought he was going to
open it
and have to open it again.
What cheese you got in there?
Welcome to Football Manager.
I didn't even think to get another beer while I was there.
Oh, he's not happy.
I love the fact that you've made space for your shirt box there on the shelf.
That's brilliant.
It had to be done.
Yeah.
That
He's
just hides the
rivaling
books
your
that
bookcase there, to be fair, Dave. I feel like we're just bullying him now. Right, come on, next question, Dave. Let's move on.
That hides all my adult books, basically. Just
Adult books?
What adult books you got, Mad?
I don't know, I'm not allowed to read them yet. Couple of years.
We can ask
Football
him in
Manager
the
stole my
recommend a
life.
book section. Yeah. Obviously, moving back to relevancy. That's that.
Hang on, you're the one that drove that to the fridge.
Yeah, but I was just confused why that handle was horizontal, man. I was worried that he was going to open it and had to open the fridge as well, but it's all attached, so we're okay.
Dave, I'm just going to say, right, when you wake up tomorrow morning, the first thing you're going to think of is, that fucker's the handle on his fridge is just the wrong way. And you're welcome.
On the wrong way.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Up the fridge.
So during the first lockdown, well, you've always sort of been in lockdown, but like obviously other than Football Manager and football, like what was your, as soon as you stopped working, what was like the first thing, right, I'm going to chill out, I'm going to do this, like what was it that you were looking forward to the most, really?
Putting the fucking handle horizontal.
Yeah, right. I mean, if this lockdown continues, I'm clearly going to have to renovate the kitchen, right? Just to sort out
for
the
next
fridge.
time you're on.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I never stopped working. Like, we literally, we had about 500 people in the office, but there was already a bit of a work from home teams, we'll say, so they were kind of equipped for the logistics of it all. So we literally went from one week to the next and moved 500 people working from home. About 20 people couldn't for internet reasons or whatever. So I actually didn't technically stop working at all throughout, apart from taking a few days off and here and there. So yeah, like basically I never had to stop working, thankfully, because it was super busy. Like it's online retail, right? So it absolutely went crazy. So I work for an online retail company pretty big in the UK. So naturally we started selling a lot of desks and chairs and things for people to work from home. I think within the first 3 weeks we were sold out of trampolines and curtains.
Wow.
Basically, because people suddenly realise I'm in the house a lot more, and if I'm dupe and I want to go for a stroll with all to see, I need curtains to stop the neighbours seeing, and obviously trampolines to zip up and lock the kids in there, right?
You got it wrong. You got it wrong. Curtains because I'm on the trampoline nude. That's fine. Every other fucker wants to shut the curtain.
Outdoor curtains. So yeah, but like in terms of, I suppose, the escape or whatever, you know, because like that, not only was it lockdown and everything, but we were crazy busy and we weren't even staffed for it. So we had loads of people doing crazy long hours, like just to cope, because it was like 3 times busier than we'd ever planned to be at that time of the year. So there were evenings I'd be still online 6-7 o'clock. You know, you're talking 10, 12-hour days. And I mean, I get the time back or whatever, but it was like, there were kind of like, oh, I'm burnt from the computer, I can't do it. So I mean, like everyone else, go for a walk with the missus. We're lucky where we live, it's kind of on the coast, so it's pretty near some beaches and the coastline and stuff. So that was nice to have that on the doorstep, I guess. But it did, you know, from an FM perspective, I still always want to play FM, but I'm like, I can't sit back in this chair. Even your back will be getting sore from sitting in the chair and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that was like to echo Curtie's point, that's where it's a struggle, right, to stay at the content. But thankfully, even blogging is a great part of it, doing FM content, because I could sit down on the couch, obviously, and kind of play away. I don't need to be at the chair. I don't need to be on a camera or anything like that, which allowed for a bit of flexibility, you know.
What? Obviously, with your work, have you worked in an office before then, like this, or have you always been working from home?
No, it's an office based in Galway City here.
Okay.
So yeah, like it's the European kind of, we'll say, operations centre. So we had like, I think it's about 450, 500 people in that office. Just because there's like an operations, logistics, call centre, supply chain, all the different kind of departments. But like since March, the building's been closed. So everybody's in this boat of working from home.
So what sort of thing do you have to do? Are you like manning the live chats or talk to people?
My team is mostly around the supply chain. So like the products we sell could kind of be shipped from and to all around Europe. So a lot of it's logistics and supply chain in terms of like everything that goes into making an order get from A to B, and coordinating all that, because we'd have basically partners, suppliers, warehouses all over Europe. So there's an awful lot that goes into an online order that you don't realise, and like it's not like we're selling books and kettles. It's, you know, it's selling bookcases and double beds and couches and everything like that. So there's a lot that goes into it. You know, there's a lot that can go wrong, and then especially like lockdown brought restrictions. You know, so warehouses had less staff. There was restrictions on things crossing borders and all that kind of stuff. So presented lots of challenges. But like I said, it was great to be busy, great to be working when a lot of people weren't. But it was actually, we were never prepared for it, so we were all burnt out from being overworked, because we couldn't even hire new people because we're all at home. So you couldn't train anyone. We weren't really ready for that, and you know, having to have that many laptops and everything. So
yeah, genuinely, that was one thing that was tough. Like we were like, in my work, we were so busy. We were still on site, but you almost felt guilty taking any holiday off.
Yeah.
You didn't really want to take any holiday off because you can't do nothing anyway, and two, like you're just seeing all the work piling in. You're thinking the last thing that the team needs is anyone to take any time off. So now I'm stuck with, like, just before we went into the second lockdown, we had one guy leave. Even though we've got a guy leave, because of the uncertainty, we have restriction on any recruitment. Can't recruit at all at the moment. So that's tough, you know. And now I've got a guy on holiday. So a team of 4 is now a team of 2 for a week.
Yeah, stretched.
And I'm like 90% PC desk-based, 10% tools. Like this week I've been doing about 80% desk-based, 80% put tools, which I know massive doesn't work, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? It's just been crazy. But yeah, it's definitely had its challenges for being on site, and I can imagine it being exactly the same at home. Like there must be challenges there that, you know, I feel sorry for people. For example, we've got one lad on not on our team, but on our site, and he's been training, and he was due to do placements. He was due to do all this extra stuff that would normally happen. He's almost had to put his career back a whole year. You know, I know that's in the hindsight and in the bigger picture, it's not the worst thing, but that's a whole year gone. He could be a whole year down the line. You know, and it's just rough, innit? Let's be fair.
I tell you one thing, I have a newfound admiration for parents as well, working from home. You know,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I mean, like on calls where, particularly like during the summer, right, schools were all closed. So I'd be on calls with people that have like 2, 3, 4 kids at home. My brother has 3 kids at home. And he's working, like he's a software developer, so he's literally on his computer. His wife works in the hospital, so she's gone obviously a lot more now than ever. And he's got 3 kids running around the house, and he's trying to be on calls. Can you imagine if we were trying to do this podcast and there's kids running around? You know, I have a newfound respect for.
You've obviously never
people
been on
that
a
did
call with
parenting.
Dave in his household.
No.
So do you know? I have to echo that. I mean, I've walked in the front door, and my wife has got the youngest in like a bouncer, rocking it with her foot. She's got the eldest kind of like over her shoulder. She's on a call whilst typing something. I'm just like, fair play.
It's insane.
Like,
Yeah.
I struggle to do my shoelaces up in the morning, let alone do all that at once. Like, to be fair.
Yeah, my cat often joins like work calls, so I can't even imagine what it'd be like having a kid running around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a call this morning, and there's a guy on it, and he has camera off, and it's a morning call, and you'd always see him, and he's just got a new German Shepherd, and it's like a young one, and every time he would come off to say something off mute, you could just hear the dog kind of like whinging and groaning, and it for some reason it sounded like E.T. It was kind of like it was epic, and you're just like, if he's got that with the dog, imagine the people that have the kids.
Yeah. Nah. Talk about family though. Like, how have you? How's your relationship been with family? Do you live near or close by any family or?
Yeah, so my family would be 30, 40 minutes drive.
Okay.
Like in the middle of lockdown, when we went into lockdown, I think I didn't see them for, I would say, 3 months.
Okay.
Because we just wanted to stick to the rules. My mother was kind of going. She was just coming to the end of some treatment, so she was kind of like high risk. It's all really good now. Everything's fine. But she was quite high risk, so like we were all you were kind of too afraid to go there, right? Because at the time, and this is when it was obviously so serious, right? At the time, and it's serious no matter what. But like a lot of horror stories out there, and I was like, there's no way I'm going near it. So it'd be very close in terms of family and all that. But both me and my brother live far enough away to not be able to go there. So. And he's got kids, right, and they're her grandkids, so that was tough. Did a lot of Zoom calls like everyone did some quizzes, it was good fun. But definitely strange considering, you know, I only live 30, 40 minutes away, and then suddenly you're like 3 months, you just can't go there. And I used to go I mean, for context, I play footy out there, so I would go out there, you know, once or twice a week for training, and then we might have a home game. So I'd be out there at least twice a week normally. So again, it's not terrible. Obviously, there's people in different countries and people that haven't been able to fly home. But definitely a big change to the normal dynamic, right?
It's crazy. I mean, sorry, Dave.
Sorry.
I think personally, me, I'm very lucky. As much as we've not been able to see family as much, they are up the road. You know, we can walk the dog past, we can wave when they're in the garden. You know, all this sort of stuff. There's a lad at work. We do a lot of placements. We do a lot of. Normally get a lot of foreign students come across, and do a lot of learning at my work. And we had one lad, and he's a Spanish lad. And literally he had to go the day before the lockdown, so he had to go home. So they basically said go home and work from home in Spain. And the amount of times his flight got cancelled, and like the pain just to go home, it's just like, obviously we've not had that. For me, like, I just think, God, it should be so easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I
it's
know
all
I
the
see
things
these films all the
take for
time where
granted,
people
yeah.
struggle to get home for Christmas, but I didn't know it was that bad.
It's all the things you would take for granted. Like my missus, she's from France, so you know she hadn't been home. Like the last time she was home was October last year, before all the COVID stuff. We were supposed to go there in May. We were supposed to go there in August, and we eventually went in beginning of October, and then had to quarantine and do all that coming back. But it's tough. Like, you know, there's so many people right there abroad that probably just had to cancel so many plans, weddings, all that kind of stuff. Christmas could be tough. I mean, we don't know what it's going to look like, but
I'm assuming
yeah.
Working from home's made it easier to quarantine, right? So, like, for me, if when it's not lockdown and we could travel, for me to do a week's holiday, I'd have to do 2 weeks after. So it'd be a 3-week time away because I work on site. So for you, I guess you could still work while quarantining, right?
Yeah, it didn't stop me working at all.
Yeah, so that's
still
handy, right?
Yeah, we were still playing football at that time, so I think I missed a game and maybe a couple of training sessions over the 14 days. But like, you'll take that. It's not the worst thing in the world. It was good because I mean, she wanted to go home, right? Because all her family are just obviously mad to see her. where they are, I mean, France is huge. They're in the middle of France, so there wasn't that much coronavirus around their area. But they were seeing stories about Ireland, obviously having really high numbers back then, so they were kind of worried, and so it was good to get back.
How did you travel, if you don't mind me asking? Because I don't think we've really spoke to anyone that's kind of travelled.
Yeah, we flew at the time. There must have been about 20 people on the plane, 25 people on a Ryanair plane. Totally strange experience. Masked up to the last.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much in terms of checks or anything like that. It was the most seamless flight I ever took because there was no queues at security. It was nothing like that. But it was strange, like walking through the terminal in Dublin, coming back, and it was empty. And Dublin is one of the busiest transit airports in Europe because it's like flights to America go through.
You just sit in the world, isn't it?
It
just keeps Dublin and Dublin. Sorry, I had to get that in there.
I knew he was gonna do it.
Look at Curt's face. He's like, why the fuck did I join this podcast? I'd like to say they get better, Curty, but they don't. That's a really interesting take, though. So, like, I'm assuming all the staff, everyone on the plane, masked up to the end.
Everybody masked up, and I mean, apart from the mask, it was relatively standard.
Normal.
I mean, for those staff, they've probably just been doing it, granted in less frequency and all that, but they just got on with it.
Did you find, to be fair, I went on holiday to Turkey in August, and it was during sort of when the lockdown was pretty light, but they were sort of off the quarantine, so I could come back and go straight to work. I thought the mask was going to be a real struggle, but it wasn't as bad as I thought on the plane. Did you? It wasn't.
No, I didn't mind it. I mean, at one point I fell asleep, and the whole row I was in was empty. Because even though the plane was empty, we were actually allocated different seats, as is the case normally with Ryanair anyway. But they didn't want anyone to move. They actually wanted you to split. So I've obviously kind of panned out, head up against the side of the plane, and I've woke up and the mask is actually up here. And I've probably done it in my sleep to block the light or whatever, but it was only briefly, of course. But I just got used to it, I think,
Yeah.
And even now it's just become a bit of a second nature thing.
Yeah.
Actually, shout out to the mask as well. I'm doing Movember this year. Definitely, here's the podcast hack: is greatest time to do Movember. I mean, I'm trying. It's coming slowly.
I've been doing it 23 years.
Yeah.
Same joke, same month, same year.
Probably the best month to do Movember, because when this actually does look more ridiculous, I can when I have to go out, I can just put on a mask. And there's no judging,
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this a couple of days ago. I've had to wear a mask all the time. It's almost second nature now. But Dave said about doing it on the plane. What about just your general out and about? I mean, I could throw this at Curty as well as you're here. Because obviously you don't wear it all day, every day. Are you finding it strange putting the mask on? Is it you kind of get halfway down to your car and you think, fuck, where's my mask? Or
the only annoying thing being a glasses wearer is
steaming up.
That's a bit annoying.
Do you want a little tip for that?
Go on.
Wash up liquid.
So washing up liquid doesn't really work. The reason that it does what it does is because of the temperature difference. Okay, so if I'm not at work and I wear it, because I can't keep my glasses warm all day, stick a pair of glasses on a radiator. When you go out, take your glasses off, take those glasses, put them on, put your mask on, and your glasses will not steam up because it's the temperature change.
You will just preheat them in the oven.
Yeah, but
or
then you
will. In the slow cooker,
the microwave will work. Yeah,
you'll take your glasses off and you'll just have a burn mark across your nose.
Not that hot, Dave. But yes, it's a temperature difference. Or just get them in your t-shirt and just rub the glass and get the glass as warm as you can, and it will not. They won't steam up. It's a bit like when you're in the car and it's all foggy on the front of the window. You use the heater to demist it, and it will. That's basically what we're doing. It's the temperature change.
The chemistry there.
But saying that, I'm going tomorrow or today, this afternoon, back to the contact lenses place we discussed on episode number 1.
Yes.
To get my contacts actually fitted tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Look gorgeous.
But to answer your question, no, I don't have any issue with wearing a mask. It doesn't bother me.
To be fair, you did in Berlin. You didn't like wearing that gimp one.
No, that is true. You zipped it up the whole way, and I told you not to. So.
Well, I thought you zipped. Apparently, basically what happened is his safe word was higher, so I zipped it up, and he just kept going higher, higher, higher.
Oh my word!
True story.
It's meant to be family friendly. It wasn't.
I mean, literally is.
Is it really?
No, it's not. I did have
I'll
to
tell you a
beep
good
out
one,
the C word from Matt yesterday, though.
Did you? That's the first that's dropped.
Oh, brilliant. No, it's the second one. Because Matt did it in the first one, and now it's the third one. Let me write that.
The timestamp.
The thing is, though,
the-
Curry,
the-
unlike the 5-star pod actual, Dave actually cuts it all out, which is really good.
Yeah.
They've actually done some editing.
Yeah.
Hey.
Plays by the rules. I'll tell you, well, a good story. Well, the first strange experience was when everything kind of started to reopen. I hadn't got a haircut in 6 months, Dave.
Neither have I,
hashtag.
you can tell.
Something we talk about every
And-
day.
Yeah.
I went for a haircut, and obviously getting a haircut with the mask was a bit strange.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you got to do around the ears, and when I came home and took it off, or when I got back in the car, it's covered in hair.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's not ideal. And then the other funny one is, the dentist rang me because I had like a whatever annual check-in, and she's like, oh, we're just going through the COVID protocols, and I was like, yeah, no problem. She goes, so you need to bring your own mask, and I was like, great, no problem. She goes, and do you have a pair of sunglasses? And I was like, hold on, what? But because you know when you go to the dentist and you're in the chair and
Yeah.
they give you those glasses, like they obviously can't do that now. So I'm gonna rock into the dentist in a pair of sunglasses, thinking I'm fucking Cristiano Ronaldo.
Tiny fucking temper. Is it him that always
Yeah.
used to wear the glasses? Tiny temper?
Yeah, it was him. Was it?
Edgar
Yeah.
Davids.
I've not had it. So I bought some clippers, and so like every now and again I'll just like trim up the back and sides, but like on top I haven't had a haircut since fucking
I won't want to ages.
since
I'm going to
March.
shave mine. I have said that since last week. I'm going to shave
Yeah, I
mine.
don't believe you, Dave. Go on, you got your finger up.
Sorry. Going back to the dentist, I still can't get my head around this one. My brother on Saturday went to have his braces taken off. They had to like send him to a different dentist, to one that he's been having the braces from. So they took all the braces off. Obviously, went into his mouth as you would, take all the braces off, and they said, right, we're finished, but we can't take the glue off your teeth because of the pandemic. I was like,
Okay.
you've just taken
Do you
the
know why,
brace.
Dave?
Go on.
I know why.
Go on. Talk to
So
me.
they can't use compressed air.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, so basically what happens is the
we
minute
go.
they got the compressed air inside your mouth, if you have any of the
Germs.
bug or the virus, it just basically sends it around the whole room.
Oh, right,
So
okay.
if they have to use that compressed air gun, then they have to kind of do a full sweep clean. And obviously if they hadn't planned that in the day, and that's why. So it's why you can't have proper fillings at the moment. So we've got a lad at work who's got he's got a hole in his tooth. He has to go every other week back to the dentist, and they put in like it's literally just like
Temporary thing.
cotton wool and something in it, a solution. And they can't drill because the minute they drill, they use the compressed air in the water, and that's when they can't do it. There you go.
Learning things every day.
Every day's a fucking school day, Dave.
Dupe with the knowledge bombs.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well
I know.
impressed,
It
yeah.
surprises
He's much
me.
cleverer than he looks.
I think as well. Yeah.
I put the act on, Curty. People like the dumbness.
Brilliant. Final, deep, serious question, Mad. Obviously, what we've been doing this for, obviously, just to help people, obviously, with the mental health and stuff like that, keep everyone active, talk to people. Really, like if you've ever been in that situation, or you know, if you were ever to be in that situation, have you ever reached out, or do you think you'd be able to reach out?
I mean, thankfully, I've never really had to reach out. I guess it's one of those things where, I mean, particularly in the last 9 months, because it has been super busy, I think it's never really been time. So I never had to reach out. If I had, I mean, I think what's been a big part of getting it through has been this kind of feeling how everybody's in the same boat. Been on a lot of Zoom calls with guys who, you know, with guys like friends of mine who are in Canada or Australia or even in like Dublin, other side of the country. During normal times, we mightn't see each other for a year and you wouldn't think twice. But when all this was happening, suddenly it was just this kind of like, particularly reminiscing with like guys who you went to college with and went to school with. I think that was like, it kind of brings everyone back to your roots, right? And it's a different feeling, I suppose, of getting through it together, I think. So I mean, I was doing more calls and quizzes than I've ever done. General knowledge is up as high as it'll ever be at the moment. Now it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge thing. And then of course, like everyone says it, right, but what's gone on in the FM community has been unreal. I think FM it's just been such a lifesaver for a lot of people, I guess. All of the streamers, the opportunities for people to interact, and then like things like the showdown and all that, it's just been such a buzz. So it's great that, like, you know, I mean, I obviously don't know you lads that well. We chat every now and again, but like, you know well that like if you're having a shit day or whatever, oh, Dupe is streaming, I'm going to go on and just, you know, laugh at Dupe or, you know, crack a few jokes. And that's really good, particularly when people are isolated and don't have the same opportunities. Yeah, Dupe, yeah, you heard it here. Yeah. Revenge for the slow cooker.
So you're the one that watches. Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. Yeah, I haven't subbed yet, but you know, enjoy the free. I enjoy the free watching. It's good. It's good. Thanks for that. Yeah.
People like you make me sick. $4.99 a month.
Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime once a month.
If you know, you know, right? Curty laughing knows. I am clearly joking, by the way. You should never pay for my content. I should pay you to watch it.
You should be charging for all these knowledge bombs you're dropping tonight. I'm telling you. Yeah.
I can drop some more whenever the time is right.
That's why it disappointed me the other week when you did a Sporkle quiz. That's,
yeah.
You know.
To be fair,
I know.
I have to be delicate, but you disappoint me a lot, mate.
I know how creative you can be, and then you know.
It's just timing, mate. I had a Champions League to win. How did yours go?
Oh, that is.
I mean, I'm you know, if I'd done one more season, it might have been alright.
Yeah, you didn't know, did you?
Played quite a lot offline, didn't you? Was that?
No Champions League games offline, mate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not wired.
Thanks for watching, pal.
Beef.
Hope that water tastes nice.
Strawberry.
I would have thought it'd be peach because you bruised like one.
Ooh. Any more?
This is supposed to be a positive kind of feel good.
No.
This is why I haven't been on so far.
No, let's be serious, right? Let's talk about it, because you're talking about reaching out and etc. And I've referenced it a lot, right? And Curtis obviously come out with his tweet this week. We all know. Most of us may have read it. We are all here for Curty, and we're here for anybody. It doesn't just have to be Curty. But I know me being nice to Curty doesn't make Curty think I'm being genuine. So I have to just do my normal thing. Curty would hate it if I was here just being nice to him, wouldn't you, Curty?
Right. I'll as you brought it up, I'll reference basically after the tweets I put out the other day, I've written them and deleted them so often over the last couple of months, and I've just not wanted to say anything, and I don't know why. I think it was just, you know, everyone's struggling, and I didn't want to be singled out at all, but it got to a point where I just felt like I had to share. But Dupe sent me a voice message in WhatsApp.
Yep.
And I didn't know how to reply because you weirded me out because you were actually being you were being nice.
See,
and I was like,
that's why I can't do that.
I don't know what to say to this. That's not. It just doesn't feel right. So yeah, I appreciate it, and I appreciate it to everyone that did reach out. Like you know, it's been one of those things. Like I think this year's been tough, but like the last couple of years probably, especially. And like I haven't sort of, you know, I've got a friend who sees a counsellor regularly and stuff like that, and he's like he's recommended me and all this kind of stuff, and it's like I don't know, I don't feel like I'm in that place, and I don't know if whether it's like imposter syndrome or what. I don't know. I just don't feel kind of like it's that serious, if you know what I mean. But it's certainly hampering me on a day-to-day level. Hence why, kind of, if you saw any of the tweets, you'll see that I've like started just writing little things down to do each day. Like whereas previously I'd just been, like I say, sat here working, and then like I don't know, maybe a bit of gaming, or just sort of sat on the couch. Like, you know, the only exercise I ever get each day is like to walk the dog. So yeah, it's been rough, and like I say, I appreciate anyone that did reach out. But Dupe, don't ever be nice to me again, please.
But I'm going to be open. I'm going to be open. You've been very open and honest. I'm going to be open, and I'm going to say that as a mate, and I would class Curty as a very. I mean, I know Dave kind of stole the thunder at the start of the pod, but I class him as a very good friend. I've travelled the other side of the world with Curty. I've literally slept in a bed next to Curty. He slept on top of me once, but we don't talk about that much. I genuinely felt shit when I saw it, and again, this isn't trying to steal thunder or make it about me, but like as a friend or a very good friend of Curtie's, I'm like, well, why have I not seen this? Why have I not seen the difference in Curtie? Why have I not acted upon it? And the more and more we talk about stuff on the pod, on this pod, it makes me feel that I can open it and I can see it better, and I feel that I can talk about it even more. But I just, my message to Curtie was like, mate, I'm sorry, and I apologise to Curtie because I'm like, I'm sorry I haven't spotted it. And I'm sorry that I haven't helped, and maybe at times I may have contributed to being maybe a little bit over the top on the jokes and the banter, but I didn't see it. I didn't know that anything was going on, so that that was kind of the way I felt from it all.
But
See, now we're going too serious, aren't we?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Should we just fuck or what?
It's one of those things you get good at deflecting, and like, I don't know, you'll notice that I haven't like been around when you guys are in chat or whatever, or like I'll dip out of a podcast or whatever, and it's because I like don't have the energy to deflect, if you know what I mean. So,
and could I ask you, do you feel like, since you kind of since you obviously got a lot of thoughts off your mind and a weight off your chest a little bit, do you feel a bit more like better about things, having put it out there, having got obviously messages from a lot of people and obviously people close to you? Do you feel a little bit like relieved since doing it? Do you feel like it's made a difference since?
I was genuinely overwhelmed by like the response. Like, I didn't expect it. Like the amount of people that not only replied to the tweets and stuff, but like jumped in DMs or sent me a message and stuff like that. And like I say, I don't want to kind of take up too much of this talking about this stuff, because it's still weird to me to talk about it. But yeah, I think it was kind of my missus the other night. She was like, right, we need to like, because she's in a similar position, I think. And she's like, right, we need to like make a plan and actually fucking, just do some stuff, because we've both been cooped up. Like her mum's been diagnosed with cancer and stuff. So it's been a rough couple of years, and I don't know, like, just do what you can, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would say whenever we chat, whenever you see Curtie, or whether he's on stream, whether he's on the pod, he's happy, he's got a smile, and that must be exhausting, man. It must be. So, like, all I'll say, and I'll finish my point in saying, is that we do say it a lot, and we say that DMs are open, people are open, text messages, call, whatever, but hand on heart, that shit is there. And if you need to, please, I'd prefer you to pester me and just call me a twat and moan at me because I use Sporkle instead of an actual quiz, But whether you wanted to take the piss or whether you want serious, man, like, I can switch, But it's just,
yeah. This isn't about, this is to anyone listening, right?
yeah, absolutely, 100%. And
So,
and people need to know that, because people need to know that there are people out there that are happy to talk and listen. And I don't have any answers, neither does Dave. Let's be honest, nobody has the answer, but we can definitely listen, and we can definitely talk, and we can definitely just discuss things. And it, I hope it.
anyway,
I hope I hope it all gets better soon.
book club.
What?
Book club.
Book
What's
club.
yeah,
the
don't you do a
book.
book bit as
I
well?
thought you
You
said
do a
book
book.
club then. That's all. We go back to America, here, you two.
No. I thought we were doing pro.
It's an in-joke.
Yeah,
I
no.
thought it was pro clubs. Book
Yeah.
club.
Yeah,
Good
but-
shout.
Sorry, man. We did butt in literally, book club. No, we did butt in. Did you have anything else to add? Sorry, before we moved on.
No, I was just gonna like you said, like Curtie. It's not about you. It's the same for everyone, right? Like, it's just important that people obviously do know that they could reach out to anyone. It doesn't have to be put on Twitter. It doesn't have to be DMs. Anyone everybody can listen. Everybody's going through. We're all in the same boat, right? So I think that's just the important thing. You can see, initially people might think it's such a hard thing to do, but I think what we're hearing is that, Chris, you felt a lot better after it, right, Curtis? You know, at least it's part of it. You know, I mean, it's not going to solve everything, but I think it's good for people to hear about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's like I say, you know, I was overwhelmed by the response, and I'm very, very grateful.
You can hold that WhatsApp message. Keep that for Duke for another time. When you're sharing a hotel room, you can play it to him in the middle of the night.
It wasn't my easiest wank. I won't lie. But.
Again, it's not the last time you wanked to me. Friendly podcast, right? That's literally just gone whatever I was going to say out of my head.
It's probably for the best.
God.
Let's move on to book club.
Book club. There, I think.
Mad, are you a big reader? Do you like your books? What would you recommend for?
He's a blogger, of course he is.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Yeah, I used to read an awful lot of books when I was younger, and yeah, obviously blogging and everything. I like writing. I like reading. As you get older, and anyone will agree, the problem with opening a book is 2 pages in, especially in bed, 2-3 pages gone, asleep, and that's where I've just struggled to like finish books start to finish. Gotten more into the audiobooks, definitely, for sure, because it's just obviously very relaxing. So I'm just trying to think, what have I read recently. I read The Martian, actually. Have you ever The Martian?
Seen the film.
Yeah, so it's actually the book is far superior to the film. Like, it was a good movie, but
I really like
some really good detail in the book. In terms of, I mean, it's nerdy, but like the way that the guy goes into the science of how he's surviving and all that. That's a pretty good book. Don't mean to drop the plug, but I have started listening to the Matt Jansen audiobook, narrated by somebody we know very well.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to? Go on.
I was just going to say, I'm sure it's very good, and I'm sure he does it very well. But listening to Nerd constantly would just
do my head in.
Just do my head in.
I find it difficult listening to on the podcast when we're on it. Let alone listen to it on there. No, that's not a dig, but Matt, what he could do is Matt could be hosting, and he'll say to you about book club, right? He could say, "What book do you like?" Whereas what he does is he go on a 4-minute journey through the books that he's read that week to tell you then, well, what book do you like? And then you forget what the actual question was all about. But yeah, I know what you mean. I've spoken to Matt far too much to be able to listen to him read me a story.
I think
that'd be a weird wank, wouldn't it, Kurt?
I think I'm 6 or 7 chapters in, but it's
second time around. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely that. For football books, I mean, I've got
flop one out
here. Inverted the Pyramid is here.
Yeah, it's popular.
Great book.
Soccernomics, that's the other one I have here.
Very good, yeah.
It's probably behind the FM box there. I think the first kind of football manager one I read was Football Manager Stole My Life. That's a good read. Yeah. It's enjoyable, you know. So yeah, definitely shout out to any of those if someone's looking for something to read.
Deep.
I started reading, not a football book, but I started reading How to Be a Liberal by Ian Dunt this week. He's very, very good.
Tell us more.
Commentator. Well, obviously, I get a lot of Tory jokes aimed at me, so I wanted to learn how to not be a Tory. So.
Which is funny because I've just started started reading How to Be a Tory, sent to me by Curtie. I'm bowling. I'll send it back next week, mate.
I'm just trying to clear out on my second-hand book. So it's fine.
Dupe, you got any recommendations today?
Yeah, How to Be a Tory. No, I don't. To be fair, mate, I'm exhausted from trying to get. It's incredible. I've never consumed so much content as I do now with books. I'm reading a book at home. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm just because I need to do something to fill this section. I feel that somebody does. So, yeah, nothing today on the books, but maybe tomorrow I might start a new one.
Brilliant. Matt, are you a big TV, Netflix, Amazon Prime watcher?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, recently, yeah, for sure. We're watching a few series with the missus. She has me watching a French TV show at the moment with English subtitles. We're 3 seasons in. I'm fucked if I know what's going on, but it seems good. It's a French name. But what else have I been watching? Do you know what I was watching actually last week was The English Game. I hadn't watched it. I think it's been up there for a while. So that's pretty good. And then I'd have go-to shows. I mean, I'm Irish, so I'm going to have to say, if you're feeling a bit down in the dumps, put on Father Ted, and that's all you need. Otherwise, the IT Crowd is a great one as well for just comedy, like just pure comedy.
That's what I've never really watched, you know.
It's quality. You got to get on the IT Crowd. Give it 2 episodes, and it's.
Is that the one you're on?
It's the one I'm on. Is that because there's an Irish guy in it?
That's why.
Yeah.
I like it when you host this morning with your wife Ruth as well.
Keep them coming, please. Keep them coming.
We're just entering any Irish person. That's mad. Yeah.
I'm gonna do my Roy Keane now, okay? And I'm gonna say, Curty, do me a favour.
I think I need a mad soundboard.
Yeah.
Bit of a random one. So your wife, we've had who else has a Mike? His wife was like Russian. So yours is French.
Yours is French.
Where did you meet her?
France, probably, Dave.
So, what? Just so that it's eternally on YouTube, we're not married.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. We met in work. About 5.5 years ago, I think. So I was living in Cork in the south of Ireland. I just met her in work. She had started new, and I was kind of out there doing account management on the phones and stuff. And they send you out on like your second or third date to sit beside someone. And naturally, she sat beside me for 5 minutes. Heard this lovely Irish accent that has no stereotypes associated with it. And
I know what you mean.
Here we are, 5.5 years later. So up the Irish.
Up the Irish.
Why did she move over to Ireland?
She moved over to do kind of improve her English for 6 months, and lost track of time. I took her passport, and been going well ever since.
Allegedly. Talking about not wives, but girlfriends and that. My mate's just started. He's just at the start of lockdown 1. He unfortunately broke up with his girlfriend, moved back to his mum and dad's to kind of get things settled, and then had to stay at his mum's because of the lockdown. He's now moved out, and he's started seeing a new girl. Now, this new girl, right before the lockdown happened, she was like, well, we're not going to be able to see each other for a month, maybe more. We've been dating for about 5 weeks. What do we do? And the last time, I haven't texted him since, actually. Maybe I should find out. Maybe I'll give you an update tomorrow. But they were having a sit-down conversation to whether they move in together to be in their bubble. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to see each other after 5 weeks. Cool. So maybe I'll tell you what, I will call him tomorrow, and I will find out what happened, and I will report back tomorrow. Because, I mean, you either move in together or you don't see each other, right? Because they're not meant to, technically, right? Because of the support bubbles on the lockdown. And she lives quite far away. I say quite far away, 40, 50 minutes. So it is unnecessary travel. It's not like they can just walk to each other and walk through the park, socially distance. So, I'll report back tomorrow.
I think you just need to drop a message and say, hey, moving in is not just for COVID.
Yeah.
Just so he knows.
Things people do for a bit of hanky-panky, eh?
Yeah, if you hurry up, mate. I had a date at 10 o'clock, I'm just saying.
We'll finish your podcasts, Mad. Do you listen to your podcasts?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't need to obviously shout out the 5-Star Pod, but
you can if you want.
I mean, the greatest thing about the 5-Star Pod is like that's what
170 this week, I think.
And like the fact that it's out every Monday. Monday's a shit day, right? You go back to work and everything, and the fact that it's there, it's great to know it's coming there.
Allegedly, most Mondays. That's another Matt dig there, by the way.
I started listening to
I think he's missed one Monday, hasn't he?
I think it genuinely is.
The Monday nights.
Love the Mondays. I started listening a lot to the Scouted Football podcast as well. When I settled on kind of doing a save in France, they've got a couple episodes that revolve around French players and European players and stuff, so that was cool. So definitely shout out to Scouted Football podcast. There's an Irish one. Have to plug the Irish. There's these guys that have a podcast called Second Captains, but they have a segment. It is a Patreon thing. It's like €4 a month or something. They've been doing this. So Richie Sadler. He used to play for Millwall.
Wait, is he the one that scored in the third place under-18 European Championship?
Yes. You better believe it. You better believe it. He did. So he's in the panel, but he does this. He was doing this monthly segment for the last couple of years called the Players Chair. So he's had like Damien Duff was on it. He had Danny Rose was on it. They had Luke Chadwick on it. So just every month, and it's topical enough. It talks a lot about these guys' experiences, things with mental health, and it's really good to hear like just players' experiences and some. He had Eddie Howe, not Eddie Howe, sorry. He had Sean Dyche on it. Brilliant episode, and just really hearing it from. So it's a lot of just clear truths. Nothing is kind of brushed over. So definitely give that a recommendation as well.
I like those like real life football podcasts where they actually get into things like.
Where they don't hold back and go, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Like Wolves did an official one, right? And they got like all these players that were part of the XR, like when we got relegated, like Roger Johnson and stuff, who like turned up to training drunk, and like because it's the official Wolves one, they just didn't get into anything. Same with Mick McCarthy as well. But like I listened to either independent ones or like that Under the Cosh one, which I've recommended before. They don't care. Like they'll go into it. They'll tell you who they've had a
Jimmy Bullard one. Yeah, the Magic Sponge when they're talking about. Sticking an iron on Graham Stack's back, and they're talking about when somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they at Arsenal when they had Bentley, etc., they stole the team minibus in the youth academy and crashed it. Stuff like that you would never hear on a generic official podcast. But yeah, that's what I you almost feel like you're part of the gossip then. Do you know what I mean? When it's good.
He did a good episode with Shay Given. Shay Given was talking about like going back to the early 2000s when he would have been in the Ireland team, and he's talking about the boozing they were doing and stuff like that. It's just, you never really hear that kind of thing.
No, exactly that.
But one of the best ones is he had Mick McCarthy on, so Richie Sadler basically, and I think I can't remember the timing of it, but basically he met Mick McCarthy, did the pod, didn't press record. Had to kind of beg Mick would he go again the following day. I think he was at the hotel where they were training or something. Went and did it, whatever the memory card he had, stopped after 15 minutes, got full blocked. So he was like, I can't go back to Mick McCarthy a third time. And eventually, like kind of a week later, or a couple of days later, he messaged him to let him know, and then Mick agreed to do it one last time a couple of weeks later on. And Mick was like, if you don't do it this time, it's the last time.
It's a good accent.
Dave is literally currently trying to find that podcast right this second.
It's worth it.
I think I said to someone the other day, he did one recently, obviously before the whole Cyprus thing. He did one recently with Terry Connor. This was before lockdown at one of our local pubs. They do like little events where they bring ex-Wolves players or ex-Wolves managers and just do like a Q&A with fans. Fans buy a ticket. That's how they make the money. And then they ask questions and tell live stories and stuff. And I remember the Mick McCarthy. They said, "All right, we'll pay you for the appearance and stuff." He's like, "Nah, for my appearance, just give it to the charity." So like he travelled down himself, everything, and he didn't want any money for it. Like I think he is that sort of guy, to be fair. So yeah. Well, Mad, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, man. Some good stories, obviously good insight with everyone, good chat with everyone today. As always, the links for each of us are now going to be in the description down below. Listen, if you guys are ever struggling or you want someone to talk to, we've had a little chat about it today. There are links for us if you want to drop us a DM. There's links to the professionals, or if you want to do it privately as well, there's the WeStreamFM email. I know we've had a few emails on there as well already, so do appreciate those coming in. And guys, be sure to hit the like button down below, subscribe to the WeStreamFM channel, let us know if you've got any thoughts about the podcast in the comment section down below, and until next time, enjoy the rest of your day, look after yourselves, and we'll see you all soon. Say goodbye everyone.
Bye everyone. Cheers guys.